Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH the Flame Emperor episode number 173 based on novel. So let's start. This guy is so powerful. In the huge molten space, the Solomon Sect Master continued to emit extremely terrifying attacks, but no matter how the Solomon Sect Master attacked, the undead Ming Sparrow easily resolved the offensive. Regarding the strength of the Solomon Sect Master Banxian, he is still calm. My soul has said that if you tame me with your mere half-immortal strength, it will be like a fool's dream. And if I hadn't promised Fairy Jiayue some things, I'm afraid that at my peak, with your half-immortal strength, I could instantly kill you. On the wings behind the undead Minkyu, there was a slight burst of red flames, and then the mouth of the bird said at the outset. Sure enough, that's the only way to do it. Sect Master Solomon heard the words and smiled bitterly. He naturally knew the authenticity of what the immortal Minkyu said, but at this time the strength of the immortal Minkyu was suppressed to the peak of Do-D, and he had a great chance. And I don't know why, the Solomon Sect Master seems to be quite strange to the people of the Xianling royal family and the Soul Clan. Obviously, the people of these two forces should not sit idly by and ignore such things as fighting souls, but the powerhouses of these forces have been delayed. Appeared, so the Solomon Sect Master wanted to solve the fighting spirit quickly, otherwise it would change later. This guy is actually so strong. Seeing this, the other strong men couldn't help but have the intention of retreating. Among them, Hua Lexin is the most obvious. Hua Lexin was actually well prepared this time. He brought the treasure of the puppet mansion, the puppet talisman. The puppet talisman is a special kind of existence. It is specially aimed at puppets. After using it, it can greatly improve the strength of the puppets. With the existence of the puppet talisman, Hua Lexin has the confidence to make his puppet greatly improve his strength. I am afraid that with the help of the puppet talisman, he will not be afraid to deal with the 8-star Do-D strong. But seeing that Guni directly summoned Lord Solomon in some way, and his strength was unmoved at all, with a half-immortal strength, he knew that he had no chance. Unlucky. He cursed viciously, and immediately retreated to the very edge. And the undead ghost bird above the sky didn't seem to want to kill these people, so he showed the entrance directly and let Hua Lexin run away. Following the arrival, Feng Hong also plundered directly. A semi-immortal powerhouse can already prove too much, and there is no need to stay here immediately. In the next moment, a trace of reluctance appeared in the hearts of the other powerhouses, but under the balance, their lives were still the most important, so they swept them out. And Solomon's sect master didn't mean to kill them all. After all, these disciples, as the best seedlings in the sect, must have something to save their lives, so there is no need to offend so many sects. Until now, there are only 3 guys left in this molten world, Guni, Wang Xie, and Qi Haoqing. These 2 guys, aren't they running yet? Guni looked at the other 2 with a stunned expression, a little incredible. I am afraid that these people do this, it is no different from seeking death. Now that they are the Solomon Sect Master, and the strength of the dignified half-immortal, the 2 of them will not have the slightest chance. And the 2 of them didn't seem to be in a hurry. They found a place to hide from the battle between Lord Solomon and the undead Nether Sparrow, and waited quietly for the opportunity. Sect Master Solomon glanced at the remaining few people at random, but didn't make any move. Anyway, they were not afraid of their dignified and half-immortal strength. Undead Minkyu, it seems that if you don't show some real skills, I'm afraid you won't surrender to me today. Sect Master Solomon said with a slight smile, and then put away the strange black chi. He knew that this ghost chi was very harmful to me. An undead ghost with a fiery flame doesn't have much effect. Since you are courting death, then I will fulfill you. Undead Minkyu, regardless of what Sect Master Solomon wanted to do, opened his mouth, and an extremely bright flame roared away at him. Don't underestimate this flame. It is said that the undead ghost is a fighting spirit who knows the undead fire. If it is lucky enough to refine and devour the undead, according to the memory of the undead, it is very likely to obtain the legendary holy flame, the undead fire. Although the flame of the immortal ghost at this time is not comparable to the holy flame, its power is far more powerful than ordinary flames or even different flames. In addition, at this time, the 2 of them are the molten world under their feet, so the power of the flame is in the range rise. What a terrifying flame. Such fighting spirits are qualified to be my fighting spirit. Facing the flames of the undead Minkyu that were enough to kill the powerhouses at the peak of the Do Emperor, Sect Master Solomon was not only not afraid, but even showed a slight smile. Death. The immortal ghost bird swallowed it in one mouthful, and the overwhelming terrifying energy flew away in an instant, and it hit Lord Solomon in a blink of an eye. "It's good to come. Look at me." In the next moment, Sect Master Solomon took something out of his arms, and immediately confronted the blazing flame. "That is. Good guy, you are so willing." Wang Xie's pupils stared at the thing in Solomon's hand. The thing that appeared in the hands of Sect Master Solomon was neither big nor small, slightly the size of a fist, with enchanting green light flashing all over his body, and a mysterious power emanated from it, as unfathomable as the sea. "Vast sea cover." At this moment, the undead Might Sparrow suddenly spoke, and the voice was full of incredible voices. "Destroy." Sect Master Solomon didn't hesitate, just opened his mouth, and with Solomon's Sect Master's opening, that dazzling flame that was extremely life-threatening was directly swallowed by the vast sea cover in his hand. It's actually the vast sea cover. It's a rare thing in fairy artifact. It is said that it can absorb all power, and because its formation is quite special, it has a strong restraint on fire. It seems that the Solomon Sect Master really came prepared. Seeing this, Wang Xie couldn't help but say. In fact, the Hanhai cover has always been only one of the top 10 immortal artifacts that have been circulated in Shentian 3 days. I can't imagine that it really exists. In the Shentian 3 days, there were 10 known immortal artifacts, many of which were collected by supersects, and this vast sea cover was one of them. Everyone knows the power of the Hanhai cover. This is a well-known immortal artifact among the immortal artifact. Countless Shentian powerhouses have been searching for it for a lifetime and have not found it. Unexpectedly, it is in the hands of the Solomon Sect Master. "Suppress me." After a while, Solomon wiped out the flame attack emitted by the undead ghost, and threw the vast sea cover in his hand at the undead bird. As soon as the hood of the sea left his hand, it suddenly turned into a huge green cauldron with a size of 100 jong, and suppressed it towards the undead finches. This group was shrouded, and I was afraid that the power of the undead finches could be suppressed in an instant. According to Solomon Mon, the strength of the Lord can also leave the ruins directly. At that time, the fighting spirit will fall into the hands of Lord Solomon in the true sense. Can't wait, let this guy succeed together. I'm afraid things will be very troublesome later. Wang Xie glanced at Guni and Qi houching next to him, and then the figure left them instantly, obviously what he was going for. "This guy, can't you bear it any longer? Alright, I'll let you know what it means to compete with snipe and clam for the fisherman's profit. However, this immortal sparrow is also interesting. Do you want to make a move?" Although the power of the Hanhai hood is tyrannical, it is still far from being able to suppress the undead ghost. "This Solomon Sect Master is too stupid," Qi Houching said quite viciously. The immortal ghost bird suppressed it and went away. Boom boom boom. Above the sky, the wings on the back of the undead nether sparrow flickered abnormally, with a strong flame force, resisting the suppression of the vast sea cover abruptly. Undead Mingqiu knows that if it is suppressed by this vast sea cover, I am afraid that he will be taken away by Solomon's Sect Master. Although the undead Mingqiu really wanted to use human means to leave the ruins, but at this time, the 2 extraterrestrial evil races in the deepest part of the palace have not been resolved, and they can't leave yet. And the undead Mingqiu knows that the greatest treasure in this ruin is the power of its own fighting soul and the power of inheritance, so it appears here in order to attract the attention of these people. Otherwise, with the current situation, the means in the hands of these people are too huge. If they go to the place of inheritance, there is no doubt that the 2 evil races from outside the territory will break the seal. The 2 exalted foreigners broke the seal at the same time, and everyone here was terrified to be buried with them, and the inheritance of Fairy Moon might be in jeopardy. Let's play with them first. You 2 will take those guys into the inheritance land from a distance. I'm afraid there will be some time. And the 2 guys next to him don't seem to be simple. The immortal Mingqiu had an idea in his heart, and was immediately swallowed by the vast sea cover. A scream emanated from the undying underworld sparrow, and then the undying underworld sparrow's body was suddenly marked with the green mark of the vast sea cover. It's done. Sect Master Solomon was slightly surprised when he saw this. He knew that once this mark appeared, the power of the undead ghost would be bound, and I'm afraid it won't break free in a short time. With a sound, the figure of the undead ghost fell directly into the molten lava from mid-air, splashing a lot of hot lava, but the breath of the undead ghost really dropped. Guni, go. Sect Master Solomon didn't hesitate. Since he took the vast sea cover back into his hands, he immediately swept it towards the exit. At the same time, the undead nether sparrow that fell into the molten lava was also faintly affected by the special mark of the vast sea cover, and even followed the Solomon Sect Master. "Stop it for me." Seeing this scene, Wang Xie immediately shouted, and then a bright red special formation slowly appeared under his feet. The formation was circular, with a triangle in the circle. At this time, Wang Xie was standing in the center, and an extremely aura emanated from him. What is this guy doing? Gunny was just about to escape here with Lord Solomon, but was shocked by this sudden scene. However, the two also knew the importance of the fighting spirit, so they swept straight towards the exit. Foam. Since the mysterious formation appeared under Wang Xie's feet, his aura suddenly became extremely strange. Immediately, Wang Xie's face was sullen, and he shot a poisonous gas directly at the exit of the molten space. The poisonous gas had just appeared, and the water surrounding the exit here was immediately blocked. Even if Sect Master Solomon faced the terrifying poisonous gas, his expression moved slightly. Boy, you're courting death. The next moment, the Solomon Sect Master was furious. He didn't want to have a grudge with the Wandu sect, but if Wang Xie did this, he couldn't blame him anymore. Everything was all Wang Xie's fault. Take your life. Solomon's Sect Master held the vast sea cover in one hand, and the undead Mingqiu was forced to follow behind the two, and with the other hand, the terrifying power of life and death directly attacked Wang Xie. Wang Xie is only a 7-star Do Emperor level powerhouse. Facing the blow of a half-immortal powerhouse, he may be able to fall on the spot. It's up to you. In the next moment, Wang Xie spurted out a mouthful of blood, and then dripped onto the triangle formation under his feet. It is strange to say that Wang Xie's blood is actually green, which makes people feel extremely cold, but the next moment, when Wang Xie's green blood soaks into the triangle formation under his feet, in that formation, suddenly a strange black layer emerged. Boom boom. Lord Solomon's seemingly terrifying attack fell on the black gas of the triangle formation, and then Lord Solomon was directly shocked by the black gas a few steps back. This thing is weird. Sect Master Solomon immediately felt that the triangle formation was weird, but when Sect Master Solomon saw that the palm of his hand that had just attacked Wang Xie actually burst out with an extremely cold breath, he immediately took a deep breath. What a violent poisonous gas. Rao, with the strength of the Solomon Sect Master now, is very vigilant when facing the black poisonous gas above the triangle formation. It's almost time. You can't stay here for a long time, otherwise you will be obliterated by the remaining power of Fairy Moon. There was also a burst of displeasure on Solomon's cheeks. Obviously, as he stayed here longer and longer, the strength of the Emperor is also indistinctly declining. I am afraid that after a while, the strength will be suppressed to the peak of Do Di. Come out. After a while, Wang Xie, who was wrapped in black poison, suddenly laughed strangely. His voice was extremely gloomy, echoing in the entire molten world. At the next moment, in the black gas, a monster measuring about 10 meters was born directly out of the sky. Even with the help of the black poisonous gas to disguise, Gunny could find that it was a spider. The spider has 8 legs, and the feet seem to carry deadly venom, and the compound eyes are also 3 pairs. What is even more exaggerated is that the abdomen of this spider has a human-like face. This thing. I didn't expect the Wandu sect to give this thing to him. It seems that this Wang Xie's talent is higher than I thought. Although the Solomon sect master was very anxious, he saw that he came out from above the black poisonous poison. The face of the monster changed slightly. Sect master, what is that? Gunny also felt a lot of pressure. The monster's strength is probably about the same as his Solomon sect master. Even with the help of poison gas, it will be even more powerful. That thing should be regarded as the origin of the 10,000 poison sect. The origin of the poison sect is the poisonous body of evil. And the origin of the Wandu Gate is a magical beast called a magic spider. This kind of monster is naturally addicted to poison, not poisonous, and it makes a living by devouring other poisonous monsters. It is said that the strongest 8-faced magic spider should have the level of fighting immortals. Solomon said in a deep voice, obviously this thing is extremely difficult to deal with. 8 sides. Gunny said. The 8 sides do not refer to the face, but to the strength of the magic spider. Look, the place where the monster's ankle connects to the body, that is, the abdomen, does the slightly raised thing on it look like a human face? Master Solomon said. Sure enough. But according to what you said, the sect master, this guy is actually a 7-faced demon spider. Gunny checked it carefully, and suddenly found that the monster hidden in the black poison actually has 7 faces. That's right, 7-faced demon spider. This is a magical beast that is comparable to a human being at the half-immortal level. After Solomon finished speaking, his eyes became vigilant, and he obviously noticed that guy's bad eyes. Goonie, take this thing and step back. The Solomon sect master's face sank. He knew that he could only do it quickly, and immediately handed the vast sea cover to Goonie and said, Okay. Hearing the words, Goonie carefully took the vast sea cover, fearing that it would be damaged, and then stepped aside. Just starting the vast sea cover, a huge energy of extremely origin echoed in his hand, as if he was holding the power of a sea. This guy, let you stop for a while. But I really didn't expect that the Wandu sect would even hand over this thing to Wang Xie. Magic spiders, even the 10,000 poison sect, are very few. They regard them as treasures. And these 7-faced demon spiders are probably extremely valuable in the 10,000 poison sect. Qi Haoqing stood aside and said slowly, "Until this time, Qi Haoqing's soul power and even consciousness have all disappeared. At this time, Qi Haoqing is no longer Qi Haoqing. Do it," Wang Xie said gloomily, and then the black poisonous gas wrapped the 7-faced demon spider and launched an attack directly on the Solomon sect master. The 7-faced demon spider moved at a high speed, not forgetting to spit out a mass full of powerful destructive and corrosive power at Solomon's mouth. Shabu shabu. Sect Master Solomon was not a vegetarian either, so his figure flashed and he avoided it instantly. However, the black venom was heading towards the space behind the Solomon sect master. With a weak voice, the molten slurry was instantly corroded and a big hole was formed. Such a terrifying venom, I am afraid that the strength is not enough for a half-immortal strong person, and it will die instantly. Humph! Sect Master Solomon shouted loudly, and then on the palm of his hand, a dazzling ghostly energy emerged, attacking the 7-faced demon spider. Boom boom boom! The terrifying ghost energy and the poisonous attack combined to create an explosion all over the sky, making this lava world quite poignant. This guy, why does he have the ghost spirit of the ghost world? At this time, Wang Xie also found something wrong, and immediately opened his mouth. Ghost Qi, the heart is a special energy that only ghosts in the ghost world possess. Ghost slash. After a while, the ghost energy in the hands of the Solomon sect master condensed into a black demon sword, and then lightly lifted it, and an extremely sharp wave was instantly born. Defend. Wang Xie was shocked when he saw this, but he didn't have time to hesitate, and the attack immediately landed on the 7-faced demon spider. Zizi. The 7-faced demon spider was hit by such a powerful blow from Sect Master Solomon, and immediately the black poison wrapped around his body dissipated a lot, and his breath weakened slightly. Obviously Sect Master Solomon's attack was too tyrannical. No, this is the molten world. The 7-faced demon spider is too weakened. It seems that we need to fight quickly. Wang Xie summoned the 7-faced demon spider. Naturally, he lost his blood essence, so Wang Xie naturally didn't want to waste time, or let this Solomon master succeed, then what awaits you is death. 7-faced spiders, 5-faced. The next moment, Wang Xie called out directly to the attacking 7-faced spiders. When the 7-faced demon spider heard the words, the place with 7 faces in its abdomen suddenly turned into 7 raised balls, and at this time, 5 of the 7 were appropriately flashing with unusually brilliant colors. What a violent poisonous gas. Seeing this, Sect Master Solomon immediately shook the palm of his hand holding the ghost Qi demon sword. Kill me! Wang Xie shouted loudly, and then the 5 splendid on the 7-faced demon spider exuded deadly poisonous gas, and rushed towards the Solomon sect master, looking for death. In the face of such an attack from the 7-faced demon spider, Sect Master Solomon naturally knew how terrible this thing was, so he immediately scolded, and just wanted to raise the demon knife in his hand, but was unexpectedly blocked by a thick white thing. Cobwebs! Sect Master Solomon turned his head to look, and he didn't know when he was surrounded by a lot of cobwebs. Damn! When did this thing appear? Sect Master Solomon was shocked, but he would not be able to break free for a while. That cobweb really appeared silently. Goonie was also a little worried at this time. After all, the cobweb appeared just now, but Goonie could see it clearly. It was when Sect Master Solomon attacked the 7-faced spider. The 7-faced magic spider was cast out, but Gunny didn't know why their Solomon sect master didn't find it. What a strong anesthesia. Body, don't obey. In just a few short breaths, Sect Master Solomon was dripping with sweat on his forehead. The body was entangled by the strange spider web of the 7-faced demon spider, and the entire body was also invaded by a very special anesthesia. At this time, Master Solomon only felt his head dizzy and almost fainted. If it weren't for Solomon's sect master possessing a half-immortal level strength, he would have been instantly stunned by the spiderweb, thus becoming a delicious food for the 7-faced demon spider. 5-faced magic feet. Kill him. Wang Xie's body is also starting to weaken, but for Wang Xie, as long as he kills the Solomon sect master and devours it, I am afraid that his 7-faced demon spider can evolve into a real 8-faced demon. spider, when the time comes, it can be comparable to the monsters of the human beings who fight immortals. Although this kind of thing can't be used for a long time, it is obviously very good as his last killer. Zizi. Hearing the words, the seven-faced demon spider suddenly had 5 small that bulge out of its abdomen, dripping with liquids of 5 colors, and then slowly wrapped around the 5 thin feet of the seven-faced demon spider. Bastard. Seeing this, the Solomon sect master couldn't help but scolded secretly, and the demon blade in his hand also instantly fell into the molten world. Obviously, the power of anesthesia was too great, so that the half-immortal Solomon sect master couldn't even eat it. Go. But the next moment, there was a strange look in the eyes of sect master Solomon, and on the palm, a pure white breath suddenly appeared. That breath instantly isolated all the poisonous gas, extremely mystery. Kill. As soon as Wang Xie's voice fell, the entire molten world was exuding the deadly venom of the seven-faced demon spider. The seven-faced demon spider obeyed Wang Xie's words, gently lifted its 5 legs painted with 5-colored venom, and blasted towards Solomon's sect master. With such a terrifying attack, sect master Solomon is also caught in the shackles of the seven-faced demon spider. If he is hit by the seven-faced demon spider, I am afraid that sect master Solomon's half-immortal strength will also fall instantly. Ended. From now on, Lord Solomon no longer exist. The dignified Solomon sect master actually fell into the hands of one of my juniors. If this is spread out, I'm afraid it will make others laugh out loud. Ha ha ha. Wang Xie laughed at this moment. Really? Young man, he is too young. Jiang is still old and hot. After Solomon's sect master finished speaking, a bright white light suddenly appeared on the palm of his hand, and then the seven-faced spider that made a fatal blow to Solomon's sect master was instantly killed by Solomon. Sect master Solomon directly pierced the body of the seven-faced demon spider with his palm with pure white light, and the seven-faced demon spider couldn't believe it until he died. Sect master Solomon was clearly already in his own pocket. How could he break free from the shackles of his spiderweb, and that pure white light could actually resist his deadly venom? Heavenly silk ice hand? Wang Xie was shocked, looking at the pure white light in Solomon's hand, and immediately opened his mouth. From the pure white halo, Wang Xie could feel that he was in a powerful poisonous gas and could not cause any harm. I remember that my master said that in this world, there are only 3 things that can isolate the seven-faced magic spider. Undoubtedly, the thing that appeared in the hands of the Solomon sect master in front of him is one of them. Celestial silk ice hand. This is a kind of thing like a glove. Wearing it, it can isolate most of the venom and poisonous gas in the world. Although this kind of thing is extremely difficult to manufacture, and it is only a one-time thing, it can be used against the seven-faced demon spider. That's enough. You have eyesight. But it's over. Sect master Solomon finished speaking, but the corner of his mouth smiled sinisterly, and then, under Wang Xie's shocked gaze, with the help of the special isolation power of silk ice hands, he directly penetrated into the seven-faced demon with his hands. In the body of the spider, sect master Solomon's hands had just penetrated into the body of the seven-faced demon spider, and suddenly the seven-faced demon spider made an extremely harsh sound. The seven-faced demon spider is powerful, but being hit by the Solomon sect master like this, I am afraid that it will not escape the end of the fall. Stop, you bastard. You can't die. Seeing this, Wang Xie immediately realized what Solomon's lord was doing, and immediately his pupils turned red, cursing at Solomon's lord. Explode. The Solomon sect master naturally ignored Wang Xie, and suddenly squeezed, and suddenly an extremely tyrannical force came out, and the seven-faced demon spider turned into a blood mist in the sky and disappeared in this space. The smell of blood and poison filled the space. You old bastard. Seeing this, Wang Xie spat out a big mouthful of green blood from his body. These seven-faced magic spiders are both prosperous and prosperous with Wang Xie. Now that the seven-faced magic spiders have completely fallen, Wang Xie has naturally suffered indelible damage. You could have killed me just now, but you young people are too frivolous, so you missed the best chance. So, in order to make up for this mistake, you should also die. Before Wang Xie could finish speaking, a strange smile appeared on the corner of Solomon's mouth, and then his figure moved, and the dazzling power of life and death emerged in his hand, directly facing Wang Xie. Master Solomon, today's hatred, tomorrow's repayment. Wang Xie was seriously injured, and he knew that it was not suitable to stay here for a long time, and then he gritted his teeth, spit out a mouthful of blood, and sprayed it directly into the triangle formation under his feet. As Wang Xie did this, the triangular formation instantly burst out with a mysterious power, and then Wang Xie's body turned into a black poisonous gas and disappeared instantly. Running really fast. But it's not my wish to have such a big hatred with Wondu sect. Forget it, the top priority now is to bring the fighting spirit back first, and when I devour the fighting spirit, let alone a mere 10,000 poison sect, even the entire Shentian 3 days, I am afraid it will not be able to help me. Ha ha ha. Master Solomon's frantic voice echoed only in this molten world. Goonie, you did a good job this time. After you go back, Solomon's 12 masters will definitely have your place. When the time comes, the resources in the gate will also be tilted towards you. Solomon's sect master also did not forget Goonie's credit, and immediately said. The disciple thanked the sect master. Goonie heard the words and was overjoyed immediately. Solomon's 12 masters, such attractive conditions, can be said to be jealous. Because once you become one of Solomon's 12 masters, your future achievements will be limitless. And Solomon's resources are huge, and it's easy to say that the resources are tilted, but Goonie knows that his good day is coming. Let's go. After Sect Master Solomon finished speaking, he glanced at the extremely quiet undead underworld sparrow, and then spoke. Let's go. Guni also nodded secretly when he heard the words, then took the vast sea cover in his palm and exited towards the molten world. These humans are really capable. The undead Minkyu looked at a few people quietly. Anyway, with the strength of the undying Minkyu, if he wanted to break free, it would undoubtedly be extremely easy, but the time had not come. Wonderful and wonderful. I didn't expect that the Solomon sect master could kill the 7-faced demon spider. I thought that thing would be a thorny trouble. It seems that I really want to thank Sect Master Solomon. Just as the two were about to leave, Chi Haoqing suddenly clapped his palms and laughed. Chi Haoqing, I advise you to go back quickly. Your brother was killed by Xiao Yan. Why are you still here, you bastard? If you want to court death, I can fulfill you. Goonie heard the words, and a murderous intent emerged. With his own Solomon Lord, Goonie will not be polite to this guy. However, when Solomon's eyes saw Chi Haoqing, he gestured to Guni not to speak. Well, facing the sudden scene of the door owner, Goonie was a little confused. I didn't expect you to still come. After a while, Solomon spoke slightly to Chi Haoqing. Obviously, with just one glance, Solomon's sect master knew that the person in front of him was no longer Chi Haoqing. Since you know, then hand over the fighting spirit, so as not to let me do it. Chi Haoqing said. Do it. Sect master, this Chi Haoqing is just a powerhouse in the early stage of the 7-star Dodi, we don't need to be afraid of him. Goonie naturally didn't know Chi Haoqing's changes and said doubtfully. This guy is no longer Chi Haoqing. Facing Goonie's question, Sect Master Solomon sighed slightly. What? Goonie heard the words, and immediately turned his attention to Chi Haoqing and found that this guy's aura was extremely evil, and even had an aura that made him fearful, which was clearly different from Chi Haoqing. How could this be? Goonie was shocked when he heard the words. It seems that this guy is used as a medium to transport the powerful members of the Xianling royal family into the ruins. This King Xianling is ruthless, yet he is so ruthless. Solomon's sect master said. Since you don't pay, don't worry, someone will treat you well, ha ha ha. Chi Haoqing's crazy voice sounded slowly, and as Chi Haoqing's voice sounded, suddenly, an unusually flickering special mark in his body slowly emitted a dazzling light, and the next moment, the mark on Chi Haoqing released a formation in the space in front of the three. That formation, the space squirms slightly, it seems that someone is about to come. After doing all this, Chi Haoqing slightly restrained the evil aura on his body, but he knew that everyone in the dragon-loving legion still hates the power of evil. However, according to King Xuanling's vigilance, other people should not know that King Xianling cooperates with foreign evil races. After all, only a few people in the dragon-loving legion know that King Xianling, Soul Clan, and even Ghost World have some contacts. Old guy, I haven't seen you for a long time. I didn't expect you to be promoted to half-immortal. This makes me very unhappy. As the space was opened, a group of figures suddenly emerged from it. All the dragon-loving legions of the Xianling royal family. Qin Tian. The Solomon sect master looked at the people in front of him, but a feeling of powerlessness was born in his heart. Qin Tian. Hearing this, Goonie immediately took a few breaths. The 3 major legions of the Xianling royal family are known to all. Among them, the prestige of the dragon-loving legion was spread throughout Xian Santian. The Dragon Addiction Legion, the strongest legion under the Xianling royal family, consists of 10 people in total. Among the 10 people, the weakest one is also at the rank of 8-star Dodi, and its leader Qin Tian is a real Dodi peak powerhouse. Is this the relic of the fairy moon? Sure enough, it's a powerful suppression. If we didn't take that thing, I'm afraid our strength would be limited. At this time, the 8th-ranked corps suddenly spoke. As soon as the voice fell, the eyes of the 10 people all glanced at the molten world. Fighting soul? The 10 people exclaimed at the same time when they saw the vast sea hood in Gunny's hand and the quiet undead ghost behind him. Among them, Qin Tian's pupils are the most prominent. Qin Tian had been trapped at the peak of Do-Di for too long, and at the same time, most of the powerhouses had broken through to the half-immortal level, so Qin Tian was naturally anxious. Looking at the appearance, this fighting spirit should be the undead ghost. Qin Tian opened his mouth slightly, but his voice was full of fiery heat. This undead ghost is just right for him. If it devours the undead ghost, Qin Tian has nearly 80% confidence and will directly break through to Dozian. It is a real fighting immortal, not a half-immortal. Sect Master Solomon, it's really been a long time. After a while, Qin smiled and said to Sect Master Solomon, Qin Tian, your Shenling royal family did not follow the rules, and actually sent so many strong men to enter Fairy Moon. I will co-name other sects and impeach you. Solomon's sect master said angrily. Aren't you guys too? Yi Mo, the deputy head of the dragon-loving legion, stepped forward and said, Impeach. Sect Master Solomon, you have to think clearly. If you go to unite with other sects, I am afraid it is you who will be impeached. Qin Tian smiled slowly. For the sake of our Shenling royal family having a cooperative relationship with you Solomon before, I'll give you a chance. Hand over your fighting spirit to keep the two of you from dying. Otherwise, fall. After Qin Tian finished speaking, Do-Di's peak strength was undoubtedly on display. What an immortal king, what a 9-star and 9-turn Do-Di peak powerhouse. The Solomon sect master heard the words, but smiled disapprovingly. Master Solomon, don't be ashamed. If it weren't for the fact that you had cooperated with our Shenling royal family, I'm afraid you would already be a corpse at this time. At this time, the rather grumpy Xuanmo above the dragon-loving army said, This mysterious demon is naturally the one who encircled Xiao Yan and Mu Yingying in the Shenling Emperor Pond. Qin Tian, it's time to take good care of your people. The Solomon sect master heard the words, and immediately said something disapprovingly. Even in the face of the entire dragon-loving legion, he did not move at all. This is Solomon's sect master, the courage of a semi-immortal powerhouse. Let's do it. This time, we are bound to win the fighting spirit. And I also really want to know, what is the difference between the peak of Do-Di and the semi-immortal powerhouse? After Qin Tian finished speaking, under his smile, there was a hidden murderous intention. That will satisfy you. Sect Master Solomon said, without hesitation, he directly attacked Qin Tian. The only way to do it now is to use Qin Tian's pride to see if there is a chance for the fighting spirit to leave. After all, the attraction of the fighting spirit to the Solomon sect master is too great. The Lord definitely does not want to give up. Don't intervene, Qin Tian said to the people behind the dragon-loving legion, and then he shot directly. Seeing this, it was obvious that he planned to deal with the Solomon sect master alone. The head of the regiment is still like this. Seeing Qin Tian's behavior, Yi Mo shook his head slightly behind him. As Qin Tian's right-hand man, he naturally knew Qin Tian's pride. However, everyone in the same period as Qin Tian, Fengxiang Zhujin, Sect Master Solomon, and other powerhouses have been promoted to half-immortals, and Qin Tian is still trapped at the peak of Do-Di, which makes Qin Tian want to use his strength at the peak of Do-Di to conquer others. What about that kid Qi Haoran? Yi Mo hesitated for a while, then spoke to Qi Haoqing below. I don't know why, at this time, Qi Haoqing had a very strange aura all over his body, but Yi Mo didn't care too much. Report to the deputy head. My brother, he. Qi Haoqing hesitated, even sobbing in a low voice. His appearance and expression were extremely well done. What's the matter? Yi Mo said angrily. My brother was killed by Xiao Yang of Burning Incense Pavilion, Qi Haoqing said. Impossible. I naturally heard about Xiao Yang's deeds in the Funxiang Pavilion. He wouldn't do that kind of thing. Yi Mo directly rejected Qi Haoqing's words. Deputy head, we can't believe it. The powerhouses who entered the ruins are no less than 100 witnesses alone. It is absolutely true. Qi Haoqing said. Shouldn't Xiao Yang be taught this in the Burning Incense Pavilion? Could it be that there is some misunderstanding in this? Yi Mo asked hesitantly. Among the Dragon Addiction Corps, except for Xuanmo's Wan Wangxin, a few people are the henchmen of King Shenling, and the others are just worshippers, not the same as the royal family of Shenling, so they have their own cognition. I will handle this matter, Yi Mo said lightly, and then set his eyes on the battle. Hehe, Yi Mo, If the guy from King Shenling didn't agree with the plan to plunder the fighting soul this time, I'm afraid it's not just Qin Tian who died. But Qin Tian, the immovable King Ming, has fallen, and even I feel a little bit sad. Qi Haoqing finished speaking without saying anything. Boom boom boom. Above the lava, Sect Master Solomon and Qin Tian were constantly fighting. It seems that your strength is not as strong as you imagined. Qin Tian raised his hand slightly and smiled. If it weren't for the fact that this is the relic of Fairy Moon, do you think I'm afraid of you? The strength of a half-immortal is not comparable to that of a peak fighting emperor like you. Sect Master Solomon said angrily. Oh, yes. I think you can't leave here today. The next moment, a majestic killing intent suddenly appeared on Qin Tian's cheeks. Originally, Qin Tian didn't plan to kill Solomon's sect master, but now that Solomon doesn't repent, he can only send him to hell. What a strong fluctuation this guy. I am afraid that in a few years, he will be able to step into the half-immortal in an instant. Looking at the extremely bright power of life and death beside Qin Tian, the Solomon sect master was surprised. After a while, sect master Solomon's eyes flashed a hint of reluctance, but he still said through gritted teeth, "Goonie, let's go." After the Solomon sect master finished speaking, he swept away directly at Goonie, and the vast sea cover, which controlled the undead sparrow, was instantly cut off by Solomon. Where to go? Die. How could Qin Tian let Sect Master Solomon leave like this, and attacked directly with the power of life and death? The energy of the intersection of black and white, like a judgment of life and death, directly hit the two Lord Solomon. Not good. Sect Master Solomon saw this. How could he expect Qin Tian to be so ruthless? But at this time, the Solomon sect master had little energy left in his body, so he directly blocked the vast sea cover in front of the two of them, trying to use something to stop Qin Tian's devastating blow. Crack. With a sound, cracks appeared on the hood of the vast sea, and Qin Tian's attack was instantly blocked. Let's go. The Solomon sect master saw that the Hanhai cover was actually torn apart by Qin Tian's attack. Although his heart was extremely painful, he still said. After speaking, the two figures quickly disappeared here. It's actually the vast sea cover. I'm really willing to do it. Qin Tian said with a smile. The next moment, his pupils were staring at a creature that was quietly inhabiting the molten world in front of him. This video will end here.